It's not any Ripmo. Notice something? Fresh loam, tacky dirt, and tasty turns. Let's shred.
A big thanks to my sponsors, Ibis Cycles, Kitspo Cycling Apparel, Cali Protectives, Trust Performance, PNW Components, WTB, Industry 9, Shimano, and Jensen USA. Any purchases from the below links at Jensen USA will directly help support my channel as well.
What's up guys, Jeff Kendall-Weed here. Today's a super exciting day because it is once again new bike day. Awesome. This box represents something brand new from Ibis, but it's more than that, I promise. Before we open this thing up, I'm pretty curious what you think. I could ask you to guess in the comments below what kind of bike it could be, but rather than play that game, I think it'd be fun to find out what would be your dream Ibis bike. It could be one they currently make, like the Ripmo or the HD4, or it could be something out of left field. Are you looking for a 180 travel 29er full suspension? Are you looking for a super aggressive 27.5 hardtail? Are you a single speeder that wants like a titanium single speed bike? There's so many things out there. Ibis used to make tandems, for instance, the Scorcher. What do you want to see out of a small company like Ibis? Let me know in the comments below. We've got a great community here. I read every single comment and I try to get back to as many of you as I can. Without further ado, let's get a look at this thing and see if it's as cool in real life as I think it's gonna be. I'm pretty optimistic. Be careful with your knives, kids. Okay, let's check this thing out. Oops, don't cut towards yourself. What do you guys think this is? That's right, it's a Ripmo, but it's not any Ripmo. Notice something? Right there and there. There's welds, because this thing's made out of aluminum. Oh. Let's get a little bit of a closer look at this thing. Oh man. Screws hold on the head tube badge rather than rivets. That's cool. And I see new cable ports. The whole shock mount on the down tube looks pretty stout. The clevis is beautiful, CNC machined. It's a bit heavier than a carbon frame, but not impossibly heavy. This thing looks rad. Looks like it's gonna use the same bushing style linkage system that the regular Ripmo carbon uses. One water bottle mount, big gusset there, so it should be pretty stiff. I heard there's a few other things going on with this, like a slacker head angle and a more progressive shock curve. Some good detail work on here. Ripmo AF. So my idea with this bike is to build it up with a pretty economical spec. I will be running this with either the Trust Performance Shout long travel fork, or I'll be running it with a Fox 36 160, depending on if the Trust fork comes out before this thing comes out. Let's build this thing up. For this build, I asked Shimano for some pretty special parts. They showed up, sat on the doorstep for a few hours. My daughter found them, decorated them. Let's check these things out. Big thanks to Shimano for hooking it up with this stuff. Let's take a look at what we got here. Yes, I think it's all here. It's good that it's here. I thought it would be cool to build this Ripmo AF up in a way that replicates the performance of a real high-end bike, but not at quite the same price point. From Shimano, I didn't request XTR. I didn't even request XT. I just asked them for a simple SLX kit. It sounds simple, but it's a 12-speed SLX. It's brand new. I've ridden the XTR, it's amazing. I'm really curious how this SLX compares A to B. Got the cranks. Oh, the cassette is almost as big as the crankset. Shifter. Need to build the brakes for this. There's two brake hoses. Rear derailleur. 32 tooth chainring. I think a 32 is gonna work great on this 29er. These are the new 4-piston SLX calipers. So I'll have to build these up with the levers, put all the fluid in it, but that's not hard to do. Shimano housing is so good. Nice. Dude, there is so much adjustment now. With this slot right here in the shifter, you can slide it left, right quite a bit. The actual clamping bit for the B-spec moves inside the brake lever quite a bit. You can rotate it clockwise, counterclockwise, and slide it inboard, outboard. New Shimano SLX cassette. This thing is bigger than my head. Dude, look at that. Alloy carrier. Alloy 51 tooth, steel all the way through. I bet this lasts a really long time. Use my vise to tighten this thing down. I have links to both the Ibis Ripmo AF frame and the Shimano SLX Grupo in the YouTube description below. Have a big pile of cardboard recycling here, but we have a brand new Ripmo AF. Let's go ride it. I popped around the parking lot for a split second. Feels dialed. I'm up at 200 PSI to get 25% sag in the rear shock. Just used an old Fox fork I had kicking around because I needed to get this thing out and about. Let's put on some body armor so we don't re-break our pelvis, and then let's hit some trails. Here we are, top of one of my favorite trails here in Bellingham. I just put this bike together. I finished turning the last bolt maybe an hour ago. Got my buddy Colby out here. You can say hi, it's okay.
Hello!
There we go. Rather than going the regular way around, we decided to come straight up this trail. It's a black diamond descending trail. Phew! There's a couple of super fun route sections, which you could get kind of trialsy to pop up. That's better. Oh. I'm getting familiar with this bike as we go, so it was helpful for me to practice handling it through those funky little sections.
Pedals.
It's been a blast so far. This is not the final setup I'm going to use on this bike. I'm going to swap that fork for a trust fork once I get one. Just so you all know, this is the first time I've done video since I broke my pelvis. I'm still not quite at 100%. I don't know, maybe I'm at 80%. Whatever, I'm feeling better than I have in 8 weeks. I got my body armor on. I'm excited, this is gonna be great. Hopefully these brake pads bed in soon here. Let's hit some corners. Trail conditions look pristine. There's some fresh loam, tacky dirt, and tasty turns. Let's shred. Oy. And my spiders on the glasses, which I wasn't even wearing. Right when I wish I was wearing my glasses. Want your pedal to get destroyed. I like my pedals. So if it doesn't hit one rock, it'll hit the other.
That's a lot of pedal bite.
Really don't even root. Oh. Going up the trail, I did not notice the weight as much riding the bike as when I got off to pick it up and over things. It's definitely 8 pounds heavier than the Ripley I rode back in April, but pedaling up stuff it's not that bad. The rear suspension felt really good going uphill under power. There was tons of traction. It doesn't like top out and lock out or anything. Ibis bikes are good like that. They usually stay very active while pedaling. It's proper DW link. And then on the downhills, there's plenty of traction. A lot of times I didn't slide the rear end through corners when I thought I would. That's probably because the suspension ratio is fairly forgiving. Bigger hits, I didn't hit anything huge today, but I bottomed out once or twice, and it was a very soft, gentle bottom out. It's definitely a more progressive curve than the old Ripmo, the carbon version. Geometry felt fine to me. When I get on the old Ripmo, it feels okay generally. This feels better with the 1 degree slacker head angle. Every now and then the bike felt a little big in some of the tighter corners, but I haven't ridden this thing ever before. I think it's fair to think that in 2% of the ride it's a tad big, but then in other places it's really nice. When the speed's over like 10 miles an hour, the size feels super good. And then when things are super slow, it's a little more to handle through that than say my Ripley, or the HD4 was awesome in that. But you know, horses for courses, so I think that's fair. Thanks for joining me as I got my first look and put together this new Ripmo AF. Let me know in the comments below, what rad new bike would you like to see from a company such as Ibis? If you haven't yet, take a look in that YouTube description below, and I've got links to Jensen USA where you can read about all the details of the new Ripmo AF. Thanks for joining me, and if you haven't yet, click that subscribe button below. I'll see you guys on the trail.